All right, in this part, we want to define that whenever one of these is clicked on for each item on the nav, the corresponding section will be displayed. Here for home, having been clicked on, the corresponding section has been activated. Here for about, having been clicked on, the corresponding section for about has been activated. Here for resume, having been clicked on, the corresponding section for resume has been activated, and this is the resume item itself that as a result has gotten a blue background. Okay, to start, let's do this and make it work. We'll give the blue background to the active item. Also, let's see how the active item is created. Here, let's say one of these we have here is by default active. We will set home as active, and later by clicking on each of these A tags, it should get their href and display the section with the same ID as the href. For example, here it should display about. Therefore, if, for example, work is clicked on, it should get its href and then it will display the section for work, and for the rest it will set the display to none and it will only display block this part. These IDs and hrefs have to be the same. Here, some of them are not the same. Here, about is different, and I have to change it so that they will be exactly the same, so that whenever the items are clicked on, we tell it to display the corresponding section. And that is it for work, and contact me is also different. Like so, we will change them to be equal. We also say that the section with class active must be activated. See, it has displayed it like this. Now, we say that the sections without class active, their display should be none. And here we say that the items with class active, that is the class for its A tag is active, not home. Those with class active should have a style like this, a background that looks like this. And the section with class active should be displayed in this part. Now we are displaying all of the sections. We wanted to display only one of them, which is the first one. And when the user clicks on any of these, the corresponding section is displayed. All right, what should we do? For our sections, first, we go to structure. In main, we say that the sections inside main that come immediately after main. Please note that for the sections inside main that come immediately after it, not its subsections, because we might add inside this another section, a subsection. For example, we say home intersection like this. And you can see it also here. So we say that the sections inside main that come immediately after main, this means immediately after it, and don't have class active. What should they be? Their display should be set to none. Display, none. Now, the ones with class active, we say that the ones with class active, their display should be set to block, as you can see here. Now, our home section has class active and display block. The subsection inside it doesn't have class active, but it is displayed, because earlier we said that only the sections after main, the ones immediately after it. If I remove this, it will be a problem. That is, if I remove this here, our intersection will also be displayed none. Why? Because when we say main section, it means all sections inside main. However, when we use this symbol, it means that the sections that come exactly after main, we say the ones exactly after main should be set to display none. All right, we no longer need this intersection. It was only needed for an example. Now we are displaying the section which is active. If I change it and move the active to this here, to about, see, it will only display about. I will undo this and move it back to home. Now, let's go to the item, that is the nav item, which is active, and change its style. We'll go to sidebar, and where nav is, see the A tag, which is active For it, earlier we defined that when it is hovered over, it should do something. Now, what do we say it should do for the A tag which is active? Create a before for it, like this. Now, for its before, the content is empty, like this. Its position is absolute, and the position of the A tag is relative. We want it to change in relation to the A tag. We want the before for the A tag to change in relation to the A tag. What is its width? Its width is 46 by 46. You can see here that height and width are both the same, which makes it a square. And because it's a circle, there we'll give it a border radius of 50% to make it a circle. For now, it doesn't display anything. Why? Because we have not given it a background yet. Its background is primary, however, its opacity is 50%. We define background as primary and give it an opacity of 15%. Let's take a look at the result. You can see that it is now here like this. We have to bring it to the center though. There is a technique we can use. How to do it? We say that it should have a distance of 50% from the top and 50% from the left. See, here we have a distance of 50%. However, it needs to go back for half of its width. Therefore, we say transform, translate, minus 50% and minus 50%. It should go back for half of its own value, which is minus 50%. As you can see, it will be exactly centered here. This is a technique you can use in position absolute, which is absolute in relation to a position that is relative. As a result, you can center an element with position absolute both vertically and horizontally with the technique you can see here. Now, if you look at this part here, it is exactly displaying the section that is active. If I go and change the active section, see, for example, move it to this, see, it changed, and now it is like this. Now, our active section is on resume. Okay, I'll undo this and return it to home again. All right, we have done this to do what? In order for it to display the corresponding section when these are clicked on. Now, let's go and do this. Now, we want to write our own JavaScript. What do we need to do for that? We'll go to this part. Below this part here, we add a script and write its src. Now, where is this? In our assets folder, we create a folder named JS, and inside this folder, we create a file named script.js, which we will write our custom JavaScript here. I write assets here and link this here. I will give it an alert to see that it is appended on our page. As you can see, JavaScript is now on our page. So I will delete this alert because it gave us the alert. We start to code. We want to say that whenever one of these is clicked on, the related section should be displayed. We must define an event on them. So these inside nav are UL, LI, and A tags. So we say that select all of these A tags and place them inside a variable. We define a variable with let. We write nav list, or we can also say that nav links like this. We write document.query selector also that it selects all of them. We say that inside nav, UL, LI, and A tags. Select all of the A tags. I will get a console.log to see what they are. What are these nav links? See, I'll open console. There is a node list which includes all of our nav links. The first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. As you can see, it has selected all of them in order. We want to define an event which is applied to all of these. When we want to define an event, it must be attached to all of them. Therefore, we write a for each and attach the event to all of them. We say nav links apply a for each. That is, apply a loop on all of them. For all items, get each one. And now we must do a few things. What is this item? It gets all of these nav links. It gets them one by one. If I write console.log C, it will get these A tags one by one, and we will have them here. All right, we want to say that for the one with class active, remove its class active. For example, this is now clicked on. We want this to be active and remove active from this one. Therefore, we say that first remove active from the one with class active. And here, what should we do? We say document.query selector for the A tags with class active, that is inside nav ULLI, get the A tag with class active and remove its class active. Now, let's see what happens. It shows an error like this, because we must say inside the class list. We say inside the class list in nav, the item inside the nav. That is the A tag inside the nav with class active from class list, remove active. If I go to this board and clear this, see, it removed it. As you can see, it removed it first thing. However, we wanted to do this with a click. So in our items, that is the A tags, we introduce an add event listener. Our event listener is the event listener for click. We say that whenever there is a click, perform a series of actions. We say for the links that were here, get them one by one, and here apply an event listener to them. Event listener of the click type. If there is a click, perform a series of actions, that is, run this function. Now, what are the actions? We say when that happened, do this. Remove class active. If I click here, as you can see, it will remove class active. As shown here, it removes class active. If I refresh the page, class active will return. And by clicking on this, it will remove class active. We define that it should remove class active from the one which is active. Now, we say that the one that is clicked on should become active. How do we tell it to do this? We say that the item, that is the item for which we define the click event, for that item in its class list, what should it add? Add class active. See, when I click, it will remove class active and it will give it to this one. Now, what if I click on this one, on testimonial? If I click on testimonial, it will give class active to testimonial. It's changing class active each time there is a click, as you can see. Now we go here and we say that when you give the class active, also change the related section. It should change the section too. Now we are on contact, so it should display contact. Therefore, we start working on the sections. We say that like before, document.query selector, we say main. Inside main, the sections that come immediately after it, for the one with class active, go inside its class list and remove class active. Let's see what will happen. See here, this has class active. Here it has class active. When I click on this, the one with class active will also disappear. Now, we should say that for the one which is clicked on, get its href. What should it do after getting its href? We say it should display the section that has an equal ID to its href. Here, about me. How do we say that? We say document.query selector here, because we want to use a variable. We use backtick. We say inside main, the section that its ID is equal to. What is it equal to? Its ID is equal to a variable in which we write item.getAttribute. A what? Href. To get the attribute of href, we say that the item that is clicked on here, for the item that is clicked on, see here, for the item that is clicked on, get the attribute of its href. Now we can use the console. I'll remove the console here. Here I'll enter console.log for this here. See? When I click this here, its href is my resume. It will give me my resume. Now I say that it should display the section that has the ID of my resume. I need to create its selector. I can do it like this. Now for this, if I get console for all of this, see, I'll go here and click. It says inside main, go to the section that comes immediately after it and has the ID of my resume. It says perform an action on it. It exactly selected the section that has the ID of my resume. Therefore, what should it do? We say go inside its class list and add class active, as you can see here. Now, if I refresh the page, when I click, see, it will show the section of about. That is the nav item that is clicked on. Now, this one is clicked on and is active. Its href is about me and the ID of its related section is also about me. That is active too. If I click on this, now work is active. And here, if we go here, the one with the href of my work, and here the section with the ID of my work are active. We have them both here. We can see the related section. Now we can also give this an animation when it appears. That is the active circle. What should we do here so that it gets this animation? We go to this part here and we say that this before here, it should be for all and not just for the active. It should be for all of the A tags. Like this, all of them get this. However, we set its opacity to 0. Now all of them will be invisible. We say that for the one that is active, its opacity is 15%. Which one's active? But first, the opacity for what? The opacity for before, not the active. Like this, the opacity for before is 15% for the one that is active. Please note that all of them have this before. See this one? This also has the before, even though it is not active, because its opacity is 0. If I change it to 1, see, it will appear. Because it is 0, it doesn't display it. Now all of them have this. We say give it a scale too. Set its scale to 0, and when it is active, change it to 1. See, all of this translate, and the rest should also be here. See what happens? Nothing. Why? Because it doesn't have a transition. We say that it should give it a transition to on all styles. All means on all of the styles in CSS which can have a transition, and its duration should be 0.3 seconds. If I click now, see, it gets a beautiful animation and as a result does not seem lifeless and has this animation as you can see here. However, one thing I forgot to mention is this. See, when it is active, the color of the icon is primary. So we say when it is active, there is an I tag. What should it do? Change its color to primary, like this. See, it became blue, exactly like this. Now, if we wanted to do this more gently, in our A tag, the I tag that we have here, we can give it a transition so that it happens gently. See, now it is much gentler, as you can see here. We showed that we can display each item in our nav by clicking on it, on its related icon. Later, these sections, like these here, will need a lot of content inside them, and we will display them. For now, we added a text so that the related section will be displayed. Until next time.